Well, okay. Are we having fun yet? Um, I've been blessed. Uh, you know, you just don't know. What they say is, Forrest Gump's mother said, "Life is like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're gonna get." And I've kind of gotten to the point where you also don't know when they're gonna melt. So, yeah. So I'm sitting here, and I guess didn't dress up for you today, but don't necessarily dress up very often anyway. But closer to 67 to 65 these days, and you can see I've got some IV points and hospital bands. Well, I had a little heart attack, and interesting. I've got to tell the whole story at this point. I'm very blessed. God took care of me. Uh, 10 years ago, I had a heart attack. It was more like a nauseous feeling. I was in Bryan College Station at my daughter's house. She was getting her biomedical sciences degree at Texas A&M, and basically I didn't feel good. So take note. Anybody that gets to the point where they don't feel good and they can't shake it, it could be what I'm experiencing or what I experienced. But anyway, I couldn't shake it. Finally, they called an ambulance. Um, but I was sitting on the edge of the bed. And I remember I said, "Well, I'm feeling better. I don't know." Well, they got there and they talked to me and told them what happened, experience, what have you, and they talked me into going in, and they hooked me all up in the ambulance, and had all the monitors on me and what have you. Drove to the St. Joseph's Hospital in Bryan College Station. Um, uh, they basically, when we got there at the ER, they started taking everything off of me, and there was a Dr. Gordon Mitchell. I'm trying not to forget that. That's the name of the doctor that helped me basically. But started going in. They took everything off of me. I said, put it back on. So they wheeled me into the ER, and I was having a full blown heart attack. And you saw three or four people, but it looked like there was 15 people because they were going all over the place. Dr. Gordon Mitchell happened to be the doctor that brought, from what I was told, the angioplasty technology to the Tri-County area at some point prior to that time, and this is 2014. Um, and I just remember them wheeling me down to the cath lab. So Mr. Watts, we're going to take you to the cath lab and try to do a procedure to stop your heart attack, and if not, we're going to have to open you up. So I said, okay. So anyway, that was that experience, and got through that, and I was really blessed. And after the echocardiogram, I've been a heart patient ever since, and echocardiogram, what have you. So I've got arterial sclerosis, and it runs in my family. My father had two quadruple bypasses in a 15-year period, but we won't go too much into that. But it's in our family. So uh, I was very, very, very blessed because the echocardiogram came back, and since then they really haven't been able to see too much of any damage to the heart muscle. So I've been able to kind of recover. Of course, in that period of time, I've got two artificial hips. I don't run anymore. And I've had two major neck surgeries. But everything they're really taking care of me, and I'm very, very blessed. And anybody that's having a hard time with their health, I pray for you because it's like I say, I always say I'm closer to 67 than I am 65 now. Uh, I don't like sixes, but hopefully in the next month or so I'll be 67 in June. So, but what happened this time, and I'll fast forward after two major neck surgeries, and I was having pain, all kinds of other things. I'll just kind of blow by. But I started to work out, and I was working out intensely the last couple of years. Had lost a whole bunch of weight, maybe over 110 pounds, and getting in shape. And all of a sudden I started having these other problems, and I started working out less, maybe gained another maybe 20 pounds or something back. So but I'm still eating good and so forth. So I'm not complaining about any of that. But all of a sudden, had worked out once that last week, and then I was going to work out a second time, and went on Sunday morning, Easter Sunday morning, to work out, and 8 o'clock pretty much opened the gym up, and um, I did all my weight routines and trying to stretch and fix my back and my arm problems and strengthen my arm so I can hopefully, if I told you, said 5 years ago I wouldn't be playing golf, I told you you're nuts, but I hadn't played golf in about 5 years because of my neck problems, and I still have a goal to get back. So that's what I was trying to work on, and it's just a little bit of a selfish deal there, but that's what I want to do. So all of a sudden, I got into my cardio, which is pretty intense, and I did 47 minutes of stair climber, level three, whatever, and then I go to the stationary bike for 35 minutes, and then I usually wind up with the elliptical 45 minutes. So pretty intense cardio. About 7 minutes into my stationary bike, I started feeling bad. And I kept going. I said, "Oh, yeah, it's going to go past. It's going to get past me." It's just, I had to stop. And it's never happened to me. So I had to stop. And then I said, "I don't feel good." So then I was walking. And in the back of my mind, I'm thinking, it's kind of like what I felt like when I had my 2014 heart attack. But I was like, well, after all this other pain from my neck problems and so forth, I was like, yeah, I really wasn't sure. So anyway, I walked out, got me something to drink because I was thirsty and what have you, and it still wasn't really going away. I was still feeling really bad, and finally, I said, just convince myself, well, even if it's not a heart attack. So I was thinking, well, it could be because it's the same. Well, even if it's not, I want to know what it is because I feel it just doesn't feel right. So I drove over about 10 minutes down the road to the Southeast Memorial Hermann Hospital, where both my kids were born, and been going there since it was built. I don't know, 30 years ago. I don't know. But when it walked into the ER, I said, I think I'm having a heart attack. They they put me into a chair and hooked up EKG machine, and you're having a heart attack. There you go. So, and then all of a sudden they're wheeling me to the cath lab. And this time, where they had put a stent in my LAD, lateral anterior descending artery, whatever, the Widowmaker artery in 2014, um, they, before I knew it, they had me in there and they had put a stent in my RCA, or right uh, coronary artery. And then they also told me that I have one of my posterior that's 90% blocked, but they didn't mess with that because this was causing my problem. So they fixed that and went to ICU by protocol. So I spent that, and they didn't have a room. So I basically spent 2 days in ICU just for them to monitor me. But the cool thing about it really is that as soon as they put the stent in, I felt fantastic. All the symptoms were gone. And the other thing is, and again, I have to say, give all the glory to God because quite literally, I, I just, I'm sitting there having this heart attack and two in 10 years. And now they're giving me these echocardiograms and the doctors are saying, well, you really don't have see any damages to your heart. So, you know, I'm, so at this point I want to go back. I've got to go back to the cardiologist and then get scheduled for the next stent, which if I can do it tomorrow, I will, but they probably won't do it tomorrow. But in maybe the next several days, they might be able to do it on an outpatient basis. And the weird thing is they did it through the procedure and put the stent in through my wrist, which I didn't even know they could do that. They did my first one through my groin. So it's pretty cool stuff. And so thank God. Love everybody. Hope everybody's healthy. And if you're having medical problems, I pray for you. And just stay close to God. That's all I can say. That's really I think we're all headed in the same place at the same time, short of God coming back and taking us home.